together with Section 2, subsection 1, and Section 28 of the Powers, Privileges, and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislature Act Number 4 of 2004. And for the duration of this meeting, this place will be the precinct of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. Thus, the standing rules of the legislature will apply and govern all the engagements of the day. Ke a leboga. Re pele ke thoma ke tseye sebaka se just to make an announcement in terms of the gadgets. I'm sure those of you who have attended before, setse le tseba gore di bereka byang, akere? Ke for translation, so that re kgone go kwana ka moka, akere? The channels tsa translation di ka tsela e. If you've got the gadget, and if I speak in English, you press channel 2 for Setswana le Sesotho. And then if o batla o mamela ka siZulu or Sexhosa, you press 5 on the gadget. And if o batla o mamela ka Afrikaans, you press channel 4. And for Tshivenda and Xitsonga, ke channel 3. And then there will also be sign language for those who appreciate sign language. So English remains one. If you want to o batla o utlwa hantle le hore ha o utlwe ka microphone, you can still use the gadget and press 1, and then it tla o bolella ka English. So that's how the gadget works. So ka ntle le tshenyo ya nako, ke rata ho le dumedisha ka moka ka mo ntlong e kgolo e ya legislature. Ke le amogele ka go fapafapana ga lena mafapha a go fapafapana. Ke thome ka ona magoši ya rona e leng gore a re thekga ka metlha le matšatši. And I'm happy to see you once again, magoši. Last week you were with us, and we appreciate that you are with us again today. Ra leboga, and we acknowledge you ka mabitso last week. Today you are part of the family. Ra lamogela as magoši, and re leboga thekgo ya lena. Ke boe gape ke amogele all the stakeholders tse di leng teng from various regions le leadership ya lona. I know most of you are represented by the leaders of the various organizations tse leng gore you belong to them. Ra le leboga, and we welcome you all to this meeting, and we're looking forward to your positive inputs to the bill as you normally do. We rely on you to really give meat to these bills that we always present to you. Ke boe gape ke amogele members of the portfolio committee who are here. On my right hand side, Honorable Mpapa Kanyane, as well as Honorable Engelbrecht on my left. I'm sure most of you la ba tseba. Ke boe gape ke amogele the officials from the National Department, as well as the officials from Gauteng Environment, Rural Development and Agriculture Department who are here with us. Ba tlo share le rona di presentations. Ke boe gape ke amogele the support staff sa committee who are working tirelessly and who also made this event a possibility. Remo ka baka la maitapiso a bona, they always work very hard to ensure that our meetings are a success and they run as smoothly as possible, ensuring that you all get here safely and go back home safely as well. Ke lebogele ho amogela hape our media people who are busy there at the back with the interpretation, as well as those who are responsible for sound and projecting the presentations tse leng gore re tlo di amogela. So thank you very much for availing yourselves, all of you. And ke tshepa gore without any further waste of time, we'll get into the business of the day. In terms of our program today, we are just going to receive a presentation from the National Department of Agricultural Land Reform and Rural Development, who are going to make a presentation on the bill, ya rona ya Agriculture Products Standards Amendment Bill. And then that will be followed by the presentation on the views of the executive from the Gauteng Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. There is an official who is tasked with that responsibility. And after we have received the two bills, we will then take inputs from yourselves, the stakeholders. Those will be written and verbal as well. Like we did even with the previous bill that we processed, we will accept written submissions as well as take hands from yourselves to make verbal inputs. And after that, I will take questions from the portfolio committee members if there are any questions or inputs to the bill. And after all that, we will then take responses to the questions that would have been posed to the officials from both departments. And thereafter, it will be announcements and we will close our meeting. So hopefully by maybe 1:30, we should be done with our proceedings. Are we all agreed? Honorable members, can we move for the adoption of this program? Member Kanyane?
Yeah, I move for the adoption of the program.
Chair, morning. I second the adoption. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Baholo, as you all know, today we are here to convene a public engagement to process and to consider the Agricultural Products Standard Amendment Bill. It's a Section 76 bill, and the objective of the public hearing is to enable the public, Luna, the public, the stakeholders, and all interested parties to make inputs through the verbal and written submissions for consideration during deliberations on the bill. And in accordance with Section 114 and Section 118 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, it stipulates that legislatures should involve the public in the legislative work undertaken by these institutions, including the decision-making processes. And as we have also explained last week, this is your meeting. You are all free to make your inputs, and no one is supposed to question your input. Input ya hao ki input ya hao. It must come from you. You've got the right to make an input, and it is the responsibility of the legislature, ourselves as the committee representing the legislature, to make sure that we provide a conducive environment for you to make your inputs and your submissions without prejudice and without being intimidated. So you are all free to speak in this meeting and say your say in contribution towards the amendment on the bill. So long as you remain relevant, then we are all fine. This is not a complaint session, but it's just a session for you to enrich the bill and to comment on the amendments that would have been made. And I'm sure if you listen carefully to the presentations, you will be able to make amendments as they go along with the presentations. So, ke rata ho leboha, and ke tse sebaka se to call upon our first presenter from the National Department of Agricultural Land Reform and Rural Development. It's the presentation on the bill. Utlai introduce Mang and which portfolio does he or she hold in the department, and then she will take us through the bill. Over to you, department. Thank you very much. There's no podium. Oh yeah, I forgot to take apologies, Lebo. I don't know if you do have any apologies before we take the presentation, let's take the apologies if there are any from Osnozi. Okay, use this one.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, honorable members. And Honorable Jade Miller as well, attending to other commitments. Another apology is from Chairperson Lovana, who is not feeling well. Chair, yeah, those are the only apologies. Oh, and Honorable Ndlovu, who's attending to a memorial service. Those are the apologies, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Lebo, for members. There are the apologies. Are we accepting the apologies?
Yeah, I will move that we accept them.
I'll second, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, over to you, Department. You can take us through.
Everyone, standing before you is Dr. Muraini Thomas Mtengwe from the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development under the Directorate Food Safety and Quality Assurance. We are responsible to regulate quality and food safety of agricultural products which are intended for local sale as well as for export, and in conclusion, those products which are coming into the country. In terms of the portfolio which I hold in the department, I'm the Deputy Director for Food Safety and Quality Assurance. I'm here to give you the presentation regarding the Agriculture Product Standard Amendment Bill. The bill presentation, I will cover the following. The status quo of the Agricultural Product Standard Amendment Bill. I will also address shortcomings, weakness of the APS bill, which is related to the management control system, as well as setting of fees regarding what we want to introduce regarding the process of Agriculture Product Standard Act. Then we'll also introduce measures to address those shortcomings or weakness of the APS bill. Then we'll also give you a map in terms of where all these things have started until the current stage. Lastly, I will also cover the part of amendment sections and their purpose. The status quo of the APS amendment bill start as follows. This year, 21 February 2023, our Honorable Minister, Toko Didiza, participated in the National Assembly for the second reading of the APS amendment bill. And these have resulted to the adoption of the APS amendment bill by the National Assembly and set to the National Council of Province for their consideration. That's where we are currently. You have gathered here in line with the National Council of Province to addressing the National Council of Provinces. What was the shortcomings and weakness of the APS bill which have resulted to the amendment? It was the issue regarding adding the definition of management control system, because the current APS bill, the current act addressed the issue related to quality and food safety. It doesn't cover issue related to the management control system which relate to auditing. It will also address the issue of the shortcoming regarding to the auditing of management control system. Currently, we are enforcing the issue of inspection and quality regarding the product which are presented for sale, as well as those ones which are intended for export, and also what is coming into the country. But we don't have any auditing of management control system which we are enforcing. Then we'll also address the part regarding the setting of fees by assignees. The same process which we are engaging, like the way we are doing currently, then the moment when those designated assignees are appointed to enforce this management control system, you will also be involved in having a say in terms of the fees which they are going to propose for inspections, for auditing. Then the measures introduced to the shortcoming, which I've indicated from my previous slide. We inserted the audit, the definition for management control system, as well as cell. The one for cell, it was more about harmonizing it with the other national departments which are involved in handling food, like the Department of Health, through the Food and Cosmetic and Disinfectant Act. So it was more of making it more uniform. So we also introduced the auditing of management control system. What does this mean? It means that in terms of Section 2, 3A of the Agricultural Products Standard Act, the minister may appoint assignees who are going to be responsible for management control system regarding issue of auditing. Currently already we have assignees who are controlling sale for the product intended for local sale, as well as the product which are intended for import and those which are exported to different countries. So, but we don't have assignees who are going to be responsible for conducting this auditing of management control system. So that through the success of this bill, it will also address the issue regarding the auditing. Then lastly, it will provide an active participation by affected stakeholder in determining a fee for assignees. By this, it will also introduce the issue of transparency, that you were involved in terms of setting fees. It's not a fees which just come in and not being involved in having a say. So it will be the same when this bill becomes successful, that you will have to say that we were there and we contributed to the success of this bill. Coming to the process follows to date. What we did as the department, we invite public to comment on the Agricultural Products Act Amendment Bill. That was in 14 August 2015. Then we had public hearing regarding the Agricultural Products Act Bill, so that we get inputs in terms of what is it which we can amend to the bill. So those three shortcomings, it was coming through this public hearing that we observed that people are saying that there's a need for management control system to be introduced. There is a need that when fees are set, we need to form part and parcel of that process of fees determination. And then what is also core is that this Agriculture Amendment Bill, it also went for socio-economic impact assessment system, which they give approval. It was 31 March 2016 until 2020 November. That's where they've given us the green light to go ahead. So the bill was also introduced to the National Assembly 28 August 2017, and then because of the election of 2019, there was a withdrawal of the bill in accordance with Rule 334. Then the second certification of the bill by the Chief State Law Advisor in accordance with the provision of the Constitution was also issued. Then what happened is that there was a call for public comment again. That's where number 12, where these are the stakeholders who provided their input in terms of how do they want to see this bill look like. So from the department, what we did, we also respond in terms of the comments which we received from the stakeholders. Our DG presented on the 8th of November to respond to the public comments which were raised by the affected stakeholders. And then in support from the same, our acting DDG also presented to tabulate formal response to public comments on the APS bill. 22 November 2022, this Portfolio Committee for Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development approved the APS bill portfolio to present the APS amendment bill to the cabinet. 21 February 2023, the minister participated in the National Assembly for the second reading of the bill. That's where the bill was amended and sent to the National Council of Province for the consideration. That's where we are currently. In terms of what was amended, Section 1, there was a lack of provision for different methods of enforcement under the Act. As I've mentioned before, that the Agricultural Product Standard Act talks about the issue related to quality, talks about the issue related to food safety, but it doesn't talk about the issue related to auditing. So Section 1 introduced the definition for auditing, which means an examination of the management control system in order to determine whether the actives and relative results comply with the claim associated with the product. This was more about adding the provision to address issues related to the auditing. I mean, where we are currently, we have seen people talk about organic. We have seen people talking about free range, but there's no an institution which is conducting that claim. So through the introduction of this bill, that's where now we will have a body which is going to conduct inspection related to that claim regarding to the organic, relating to the claim regarding to the issue of free range. So that's what the amendment bill will address. Then still in Section 1, this was more about aligning with the reconfigured cabinet portfolio. We used to be called the Department of Agriculture, but because of the reconfiguration of cabinet portfolio, we are now called Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development. And the Director General, their definition used to say, means the Director General of Agriculture. Then we amended it will read as Director General of the Department. Coming to the Minister, we used to say Minister of Agriculture. Then it will say, means the cabinet member responsible for agriculture. So those are the issues related to those definitions of the three. It was more about clearing the interpretation so that we talk to the current cabinet portfolio. Still in Section 1, then we also talk about issues related to methods such as free range and organic. So this is more about eliminating claims or labeling of this product. So whoever is going to say to you, I'm picking organic, I'm having free range chicken, then through this bill, then you will know that there will be a body which is going to conduct that inspection and ensure compliance regarding that claim of organic, regarding that claim of free range. So that's what is going to happen. Then Section 1, it was more about, under the definition of cell, I did mention that it was more related to align the definition with the other national departments who are involved in handling food, which is the Department of Health, regarding to the Act of Food and Cosmetic and Disinfectant Act. So it's more about alignment there. And then coming to the designation of an assignee, I did indicate that in terms of Section 2, 3A of the Agricultural Product Standard Act, it gives the minister that mandate to appoint the assignee. So, but through this section, what are we saying? We are saying that those who are going to be appointed mustn't be conflicted, must have a particular knowledge of the product concern. So that's what the proposed amendment is addressing. Because in most cases, you appoint people who are conflicted to the product. Instead of ensuring compliance, then it affects because he's conflicted. He doesn't want his product to be rejected. And then we also have to have a particular knowledge of the relevant management control system with no direct or indirect personal or financial interest. So I did mention it before. Coming to section 3, here we talks about transparency and accountability in the setting of fees. Here we are today sitting, talking about the proposed amendment bill, but the same issue here which we are talking about is, it is when the assignee is already being appointed. And the process of setting fee will need consultation for those who are affected to also have a say. So that's what this proposed amendment is saying, that they will be involved to ensure issue regarding transparency as well as accountability, so that you will say that those fees, I was there and I participated in the setting of those fees. Then what is also core is that when this process is being involved with the affected stakeholders, the affected assignee will submit their budget as well as the business plan, which will be scrutinized by the executive officer of the Agricultural Product Standard Act, so that he will peruse the submitted document and also give the go-ahead in terms of, say, you can go on in terms of process of publishing that fee determination in the Government Gazette. Still ensuring transparency and accountability. So that I've already summed up in terms of saying that there will be a written approved the business plan and the budget of the assignee. So that will be the responsibility of the executive officer of the Act to provide that approval. Section 3A, there was lack of alternative method of inspection or enforcement. I did mention before that the current Agricultural Product Standard Act address issues related to quality, auditing, food safety. So 3A, we inserted the word audit. It will say audit or inspection, grading, and sampling for quality control, because the current act only focused on quality. It didn't address the issue regarding audit. The same goes on with section 3A. It was more about inserting the word may audit the control system, because it was only related to quality. So, but what is core here is that there are those who are running their private auditing system at a higher cost. But as the department, through our setting of determination of fees, this will be lowering the cost of compliance. So that will be the core or the benefit of this amendment. And then section 3A, it was aligning subsection 2C so that it will talk to the issue related to auditing and quality. Section 15, you might be asking yourself the question to say, what will happen after the approval of this bill? In terms of section 15, the Directorate Food Safety and Quality Assurance will be expected to develop regulations which will address issues related to the management control system. So the appointed assignee who's going to be responsible for auditing will be working through the regulations which are developed by the Directorate Food Safety and Quality Assurance through section 15, because section 15 gives power for the minister to make regulations. I thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ra leboha, thank you very much. Let's take the second presentation by the Department of Environment, Agriculture and Rural Development. I see your screen, it's where it technical. Can't you sort out this flashing on the screen? Yeah, register banyana. I don't know if the stakeholders can follow. If it kata, so if you can just fix it for us so that it is stable. Our stakeholders must be able to reach seamlessly. Over to you, sir. You can introduce yourself and proceed with the presentation. Thank you very much.
You can use this one.
Thank you. Hello? Yeah. Good morning, Honorable Chairperson, members of the Portfolio Committee, Honorable Amakosi, also Honorable fellow members of the South African citizenry. Yes, I'm Extian van Wyk. I'm with the Gauteng Department of Agriculture, Rural Development and Environment with Legal Services. I have a very short presentation. I always find myself in a position that I have to present after the main presentation, and I normally can't add much to what has already been said. So I'm just going to do a very short presentation on the department's view. Just want to improve my font so I can actually see what the slide says. Yeah, so as my colleague has indicated, there were various deficiencies identified in respect of the Principal Act. A key deficiency was the definition of management control, and that has now been addressed by the new, or it is an attempt, the new bill attempts to address that deficiency by amending the definition of management control. So many of the changes are actually centered around the context of management control and the amendment of the definition of management control and the subsequent resulting change to the way in which the systems will be managed. So the objectives of this new bill is then to amend the Agricultural Product Standard Act of 1990 so as to insert new definitions and substitute other definitions, provide for auditing of a product for management control systems, to make provision for the setting of tariffs by assignees on a cost recovery basis, and also to make provision for other actions by the minister, including the making of regulations. Changes, as we are of the opinion that there are certain advantages brought about by this new bill, and we are also keen to then cooperate with the National Department in order to make this bill a success. Firstly, we see that exporters, farmers and sellers may benefit from guarantees that may come from claims such as organic, free range, I can't think of any others at this stage. So organic and free range, and these will then be, we will be able to authenticate these claims, and that will be beneficial to farmers, exporters and sellers. Consumers then will also benefit from being protected against misrepresentation. Misrepresentation, for example, falsely claiming that chicken are indeed free range or that food is actually, or that the agricultural project is organic. And thereby there will be assurance that the customer or the consumer will be getting value for money. We also see that the products offered for sale will also possibly be enhanced. And on a wider scale, South Africa may have a strengthened food control system because of the anticipated proposed changes, which will serve as a good base for the facilitation of trade and market access. So it will also actually benefit South African in the wider international scene as far as trade and market access is concerned. So for these 4 reasons, and there might be more, my department is in support of the proposed amendment to the current bill dating back to 1990. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Extian, for the short presentation. You did say it's going to be short and sweet, and indeed it was short and sweet. And I think we have received the comprehensive presentation, which was more detailed by the National Department. And I think last week when we processed the National Field and Fire Amendment Bill, and most of you were there, and I think you did very well in engaging with the Field Fire Amendment Bill. You were relevant, your questions were relevant, and your inputs were relevant to the bill. You were not all over the place. And I'm going to make a similar request today. We are processing the Agricultural Product Standards Amendment Bill. So I'm going to plead with all of you to, when you make your input, remain relevant to what was presented so that we talk to the bill and we are able to input where necessary. If there are no inputs, it's still fine. And the written inputs or written submissions or any other thing that falls outside of the bill can be brought in the form of a written something. So if you've got anything that is not related to the bill, please don't raise it when we appoint you, but rather write it and bring it towards the table so that we don't conflate issues. We deal specifically with the amendment on the specific bill so that we remain orderly. And I know most of you have gone through the pre-workshop, which assists us in educating all of us here about how to engage a bill. I know sometimes it can get a bit technical and legal, but I think the workshops are assisting you to take you through to understand what is it that we are amending. In most cases, it's not very difficult things. It's just technical issues in terms of the what you call, the terms that are being used or the wording, just technical issues that they normally amend there. So I'm grateful for the team which conducts the pre-workshops. It helps to educate all of us as stakeholders in the process of processing bills, because there will still be a lot of bills that we are going to process, which might at the time be relevant and specific to your needs, and you will be able to make inputs. So if you are not able to make inputs today on this bill, it's not all lost. You will get another opportunity when we process another bill that you can make inputs on. So at this point, I am going to take hands from you, stakeholders. Or maybe I should start with the members, if you've got any inputs to make, so that we can open the way forward for the stakeholders. Do you have any input?
No, thank you very much. Not necessarily on the content, because I'm really comforted by the department for their presentation, which also corroborate the national department. And for me, I think we are all in agreement in terms of the bill, but I can also check in terms of the logistics from the national department. When you talk about the regulations, which I know it will really be underpinning your objects, your implementation plan, to say this is how it has really to be implemented, but specifically you underpin it so that it becomes very systematic and there is accountability in that regard. But are you going to take the same process where you have to have public engaging on your regulations, or it's something that will be done internally and then from there they are circulated and they are implemented? But otherwise, I must say, we are really comforted by what has been presented today. I thank you, Chair.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Yeah, I think we are in agreement as a portfolio committee on the minor amendments that are made on the bill. And we are here gathered as Gauteng province. Your inputs are also going to be incorporated into the submission or the mandate that we are going to forward to national as Gauteng province. So if we are in agreement, it will be said that no, Gauteng agrees. If not, we will indicate the areas where we do not agree. So let me take hands so that we can have the inputs and the written ones can come to the table. Let me start on my right-hand side. I can acknowledge hands. You can raise your hands if you want to say something relating to the bill. I don't see any hands on my right-hand side. Okay. I'll move on to the middle lane. On my right-hand side, first lane. Can I take hands? Okay, I see one hand here in front, second hand, and third hand. Oh, there's one hand this side. Okay, let's start from fresh. I see this side is inspired. I see two hands here, or three. Okay, we'll start at the back. 1, 2, 3. Let's start first with them, and then I'll come back to yourselves. Okay, let's start at the back. Yes, 1, and then 2, 3 in front here. Okay, proceed.
My name is 1, 2, 3.
Muchumele mic, the mic is not on.
Oh. Oh, thank you, Program Director.
Emma pele mama. I start mama. I may let you will be the second one.
1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2.
Hello, Molweni, igama lami ngibusisiwe, Nkwanyana. Iphakula ndaba yeNansika organics, organic system. It's very difficult to apply organic system in a huge space. Why I'm saying that is that even the seeds that we are using, I'm not sure whether they are organic, because all I know is that the seeds that we are using, they have what we call GMO. They have they add. I don't know how to call it, but maybe you'll understand what I'm saying. Even the food that we are eating, it's no more the food that we are required to eat, because it has, the food that we are eating, it has the addition or edible. By the way, maybe somebody can assist on that regard. But what I'm saying is that the system, the organic system is not easy. Maybe with the bill that you are applying, you can assist. You can assist the farmers to do the organic system. Yes, on a smaller scale, I can agree with the organic system. But on a huge, where we need to do commercial farming, it's not easy with what we are doing at the moment. But if maybe you say you come with some mechanism of organic system, then maybe we can agree on that. But at the moment, I don't see the advantage of using. Yes, it is advantage to use organic system, because we know that when we speak organic, we speak of natural resources, natural planting, like using our own vegetable peels or grass, and we do that. We've been trained for organic system. But on a larger scale, maybe let's say we want to do commercial farming. I don't know, maybe you are coming with a system that will help us as farmers. Ngiyabonga. Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director, and greetings to all. My name is Nomvola Masilela from Omkariso Women in Water. We welcome the Agriculture Product Standard Amendment Bill. So we are happy about the bill, so that now we can sell and buy to another countries, and okay, we can sell our product to another countries, and we're happy. The bill says, the food products will be low. We hope for the best for that, because the prices are so high, so that we can't afford to buy. But if the bill, they will make sure that all the prices will be low, then maybe we'll succeed from these prices. So as Umkariso, we amended this bill. That's my comment about.
Good morning, all. Protocol observed. This is Nomsa from Ward Joburg. I'm commenting on section 3, line, I think it's amendment section 2, no, section 3, line 3A or something. Any fee determined in terms of subsection 1A, B, shall be calculated at a cost recovery basis and shall only come into effect. I needed to find out in terms of this fee, where is it calculated from? I just needed that explanation. But all in all, the bill is accommodating. It is fair, and especially on us when they say organic, because everyone is coming with organic, with free range. Where does it come from? So it will protect us as well to know now that what is organic, when we can refer those people who can help us, is it really organic? But my main question is section 3, line, I think it's line 25. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, let's come back to this row. Yeah, you can raise your hands, I'll appoint. Number 1 in front here. Number 2, Mama. Number 3, Ntate Mole. And the 4 and the 5 in the last row. So I've got 5 hands this side. In that order, you can start in front here, Busi. Ntate Keole Mole. Bon, behind Mahosh.
Good morning, everybody. There's one question that I want to ask, especially from the doctor who have presented, about the inspection. How are they going to conduct it? Is it going to be when the goods are submitted or are sent to be exported? Or how are they going to conduct that inspection of the products? That's my question.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Judith Babramushi from Step Ahead. Now I would like to support Dr. Mudego and welcoming the bill. What I would like to emphasize on, it's about the internal security. Because when you walk or maybe when you are somewhere, you see people maybe trapping our beds, trapping everything, and those things are going out of the country. Now I think it's going to be better if this bill passes. And then I'm also worried about organic, like I'm sharing the same sentiment with Busi. How are we going to make sure that our things are organic when we are full of chemicals everywhere? But I do appreciate, because we will be going back to the state of nature, going back to our roots, planting our plants without any chemicals. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Mama. Sorry, before you move, ke kopa Mama, I introduce her. I'm told the Hansard did not pick up your name. Just introduce yourself once again, Mama.
Oh, my name is Judith Babramushi from Step Ahead. I'm a farmer at Aikenhof and also in Palm Springs. Thank you.
Ke a leboga. Ke kopela everyone I melang a follow the example ya me Judith I introduce lebitso le sefane le hore o tswa ko kae, from which organization if possible, and then you can start into your input. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Viwe Mvuzo.
Oh, sorry, Papa. But the one before you, I will let him how Bakopale and I introduce it so that they can capture your name in the recording. Just come back. Yeah, Keo Mike, just introduce yourself.
My name is Isaac Silas. I'm from the Contra Lesser COJ.
Lemotli. Okay, thank you. Okay, you can proceed in that work.
Okay, my name is Viwe Mvuzo Monono. I'm from the West Rand, Zeribacom in particular. And I'm here with the organization Rise and Shine, but I also represent Youth in Agriculture and Rural Development. I'm the secretary in the West Rand. I just wanna maybe add to the bill that we in the West Rand, we have quite a number of tailings and minerals that are quite hazardous to actually the environment itself. So when it comes to being to the organic, would I say plants or animals, we need to also consider the measurement of the radiation that could be in those products, because at the end of the day, we have other industries to consider when we look at the environmental factor. So can we kindly also look at the mines around the areas, how they dispose of their tailings, how they protect the farmers when it comes to the organic or rather the environment? Thank you.
Dumelang bomme moetapele moo bitso la ka ke Moleleki Makgalema Molahlwe Moleleki Molahlwe ke tloa diplotong tsa Rosershof ke fama moo re fama ka dibetše dikgoho mmutlanyana le di guinea fowl re na le tsona ra di tshwara ke thote mono bane di a senya batho ba jetse pone di guinea fowl tsena di a fatolla mono di a senya re leka ho di tshwara jwale re qadile 2000 ka the minister wa pele mo le ntate Mosungkutu go ba balemi moo ntse re tsamaya di-workshop tsa government ka nako e nngwe ha o tlo etswa di-amendment government o na romela di-official ho rona kwana re kopane tulong tsa rona re tlo rutwa ka amendment hore na ho tshwantse ho etsa le parlamente kapa legislature re tla ya legislature mo se re rutuwe re tseba hore na hore lo bua ka eng mo hona jwale tjena na se ke se bona mona hangata ho bua ka temo ene temo ha ke tsebe a ke so bone batjha ba fuwe polasi kapa ba fuwe plot kore half plus plot ho ena ke ya batjha ena mare ke ka fumana batjha ba le teng ba mixwa le bona dinthong tsena tsa di-amendment mare ha re ba hloka rona mo le hore batjha ba tlo tla ba re thuse ba kenelle le bona mona hobane rona se re kgale re sebetsa ha ba tsoka ba utlwisisa ntho e ba e batlang fela e ke bonang hore ba tle mo le ba tlo sebetsa ke mmuso a tshwantse a ba hire then ba tla kgona ho tlo sebetsa moo so yena ya ntwena ya dijalo tsena tsa di-chemical tse senang di-chemical ha e sa le ntse le teng and hangata haholoholo dishopong mona ho rekiswa tsona tsena tsa di-chemical sentswe di-chemical rona tsa rona ne di mela mare bothateng he ba rona he ba ne re sena tjhelete ya ho reka chemical ne re jala fela rona ka bo mmutedi ka eng dijalo tsa rona di ba ntle mare e ne se tsona di rekiswa ne re ithekisetsa dikhoneng mona jwale ntho e nngwe e thata hape e nka buang ka yona ke ena ya nyeo ya amenda this bill ya rekisi ya auditing ne ntse re rutwa ka yona mare e ne sa re fe hakalo hore re potlakelle yona o bona hore re sebetse so mohlomong ha e tlo etsuwa hona jwale tjena e tlo ba boima mare fela ho betere ha batjha ba le teng auditing yona ya batlang bonnete auditing e tshwantse ha e sa le ntse le teng mare ntse re etsa fela hobane re sa kry the really market one need so ha ne auditing e ka qalella hwa shebuwa batho ba qalang ha motho a qala ho etsa temo kapa a qala ho etsa thuo a rutwa ka tsela eno ya auditing e seng hore ha setse a sebetsa a santse a tswela pele e be le hona ho tluwang ka thuto e tla sokodisa ke a leboha
Thank you. Igama lami nguSibusiso Khumalo from West Rand. Ngibuya kwi-Freshly Living Garden. So, i-bill siyayisupporta. However, kunezinto sicela ukuthi government assist somewhere in terms of to reach the standard. People need to be taken kuma trainings and so forth. Ukuze so that bezokwazi ukuthi imeet standard, because to support i-bill whereby abantu bethu they are not ready in terms of training, it will not assist anybody. But i-bill yona maye phambili. Government makenze umsebenzi wakhe wokumonitor, because we are good at passing ama bills and everything, but i-monitoring yaka government wethu iyaleka kakhulu. So government masazame nje ukuthi monitoring yakhe and everything yakhe be right, everything is over fine. Thank you.
Greetings to the portfolio committee and greeting to everyone in the house. Kamala Mungundota, Isbongoga Ngubeni. I'm from Ivory Park in a youth called Youth Explosion Young People. I'm one of the farmers, so we say we agree to the bill, yes, indeed, but we are concerned as young farmers who are dealing with organic farming. For instance, we are the one who deals with chickens, organic chickens that are no longer there, because we know that we are in competitive with the genome-modified, which are the ones who are using chemicals to grow their food and their chickens. So we're saying we agree to the bill, but then how is the government and the legislature going to assist the organic farmers, the one who plow using organic seeds and the one who control the chickens, which are also in the organic side? We want to know how, in terms of government, how they're going to reach, and we're talking about small farmers in the household, because we are living in the environment where it's a ghetto. There is no place like farms where we can do poultry farming, but because of passion and the love of agriculture, we maintain it and do it in our own houses, and we also have a market where we sell our organic product. So we want to know, because also it's very competitive for us to be in the market where the genome-modified is found. So for instance, ShopRite, Checkers, and other factories that deal with chicken like Rainbow and Festive. So we want to know that as organic farmers, how are we going to get our product also to be there, since there will be people who are there to do the valuation and checking everything that is going on in terms of the food sector. But it seems like to us, the ones who are doing organic, because our product takes time than the ones of genome-modified, it seems we're not taking into consideration in terms of training, or where should we take our product to the market, that we should be assisted the way they assist the genome-modified food, because it's everywhere in the country than the organic ones. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move to the last row. Kakupautea Matsoho on the other side, on my far left. There's one hand. Let's see, one hand. Okay, before we move there, okay, let's take one hand there, Busi, on that row, the last row. Yeah, and then we'll come back to the two hands at the back on this row. Okay, I noted you, Mama.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Enver Chelan. I'm the chairperson of Ubuntu Community Development and Upliftment, and also a chief in the Klipspruit West Khoi Council. I just got one question, but before I go to my question is, I heard what my fellow farmers also, we do have the same problem. To produce quality organic produces, we need training. We need the intervention of government to come in, because those chemical foods that comes in, as just as my previous speaker did indicated, that there are people that using chemicals to grow their producers and those things, and that brings a suffer to we as the organic farmers. Firstly is the interventions which the government will do to assist those farmers, as we are organic people of this and we believe out of the freshness of this land. Then last week, I raised the very same question based on the parliament procedures. 7.2 states, the state law advisors are on the option that it's not necessary to refer this bill to the National House of Traditional Leaders in terms of Section 39, subsection 1, subsection A of the Traditional and Khoisan Leaders Act 2019, Act number 3 of 2019. The reason for raising this question is because I fully believe, as the Aboriginal of this land, we cannot be excluded from anything that has been decided within government. So I just need to get some clarity on Section 39, subsection 1, subsection A, because I do believe there's a lot of our traditional people that sit here that hear about the sections but do not understand the section. So if we can just have some clarity based on what that section prefer, because as it says, it is not necessary to refer this bill to the traditional houses, and I do believe it must be referred to the traditional houses. If otherwise, they can give us a clearer indication on the Section 39. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I saw two hands come. I'm breaking protocol. You were supposed to raise your hands, Haneke Buzisa, for this, but I will forgive you for today. But next time, please don't do it. If I say this row, you must raise your hands. Don't wait for other people to talk and then you want to talk afterwards. That's not how we should be conducting our meetings. Okay, let's take you and then Mama at the back.
Morning, my name is Nomsasi Lebano. I'm a farmer in Randfontein. I think in the bill, we need seed bank. We need to share our seeds. We are tired of chemicals. We are at study groups where we are going to share our seeds among ourselves. We don't have money every time to go and buy seeds that are killing us with GMOs. I think this thing of a seed bank, they must develop it, make it so that we must survive. Because of many diseases that are here, because of the chemicals, chemical seeds that you are planting with. We want seed bank. We want our own manure to do our products without chemicals. Even the children, as I speak now, starting from unborn children, we eat food that are GMOs. We want something without GMOs. The government mustn't give us fertilizers that are with GMOs. We want organic fertilizers. We need our spaces where we are planting to be certified as organic spaces. We must be given certificates. Our children must go to be taught to plant organically so that we must go somewhere in life. We are dying because cancer now because of the GMOs that we are eating. You want GMO-free products, organic one. Thank you.
Dumelang. Lebitso la ka ke Aida Lephatsi. Ke tswa ko Estrand Waterpen. Ke a lema, ke na le dikgogo, ke na le dikolobe. Ke dumellana le bili. Fela nna ke ipotsa hore na bili e tla re thusa ka hore re kgone ho tswela pele ka di temo tsa rona, e re fe di-seeds, e re fe dintho tse ka kgonang ho sebediswa disebediswa jwalo ka ha re le balemi ba batjha, e re thuse ho tswella pele. So ke yona fela ntho e ne ke ikopa, ke a leboga.
Okay, thank you very much. Ra leboga di inputs, the written submissions, I'm still waiting for them. You can gather them, Lady Febusi, Busi at the back there, and then she can bring them onto the table. Let's also welcome Member Fasia Hassan, who has joined us, member of the Portfolio Committee. You're welcome, member. We are almost at the tail end of our meeting. We have just taken the inputs from the stakeholders and from the members as well. So I'm now going to give an opportunity to the department to respond to whatever issues were raised, which you deem fit to raise or maybe emphasize the inputs that were made towards the bill. Yeah, you can start, National Department. You can come to the podium and just respond from there. Yeah, you can both come. One can occupy the seat while one is presenting.
Thank you very much for the questions asked, as well as the comments raised regarding the Agriculture Product Amendment Bill. Regarding question 1 asked by the Honorable, I will ask my colleague also to have a voice. You can come in.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Winnie Mafiri from the National Department of Agriculture. To answer your question, Honorable, after the bill has passed the Act, in terms of Regulation 15, it gives the minister authority to publish regulations. That means an invitation of public comments will be made for everyone, the public, to give their comments on the new developed draft. And also, as South Africa, we are a member to the World Trade Organization, where we are going to also send the draft for 3 months to the member countries for their comments. And we also work with the association stakeholders and farmers when gathering of comments when we draft regulations in terms of the Agricultural Products Standard Act. And also we conduct meetings across the countries also with the different stakeholders. To the second question, before I answer this one, I would like to say Agricultural Products Standard Act, we deal with the final product at consumer level, where it will be already for sale. If it's an apple, it will be an apple that is already for sale. That's where we deal with the product at the final level. So also to answer the question that was asked in terms of how are we going to maintain the organic system or space or seeds. Within the Department of Agriculture, we have different directorates where we deal with different legislation. For example, we have Plant Improvement Act, Plant Breeders' Rights, Genetically Modified Organisms. So I cannot answer on that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Then we'll move to question, it was a comment regarding lower price related to the auditing of agricultural products. Indeed, it will lower the price because you will also form a parcel of those who are going to comment when the determination of fees are presented to you. I did outline that the assignee appointed will present a budget as well as the business plan to the executive officer of the agricultural products. And what is core from that budget or the business plan presented is that the appointed assignee then will need to make sure that the cost is based on cost recovery, not for them to make profit. Is for them to conduct the mandate which they are going to be appointed for. So in most cases with the private, when they are setting fees for the auditing, it also goes with the issue related to profit. So Section 3A will address the issue related to transparency, will also address the issue related to cost recovery basis, that whatever auditing system is going to be conducted, no profit related to the work going to be conducted. So that also answer the issue related to our fees calculation when it comes to this management control system. From the budget itself, as well as the business plan, the appointed assignee will propose a fee, which will be discussed with you. And then you will also have a say to say, this is an exorbitant fees which is proposed. Let's reduce the fee into, make it more user-friendly for us. So that is what is going to happen in terms of fees. But coming back again to the current act, Section 3.1, I know you don't have it, but I'll have to read it for you. It says that fees may be charged in respect of the power exercise and duty performed by the assignee. So in that sense, that fees which will be set by the appointed assignee, you will also be involved into it. And then there was a question related to how inspection is going to be conducted. Let me make it, or let me say it in this way. Currently, with regard to quality inspection, when you present your product for inspection, the designated assignee, if you have the pack house facilities where you pack your product, they will either come to your premises to conduct inspection, or if you have a middleman who's an agent, they will conduct inspection in the agent facility. If the product is already at the market, like Joburg Fresh Produce Market, they will go there and conduct inspection. But regarding the issue of auditing, we are auditing a claim which you are saying that you are going to produce organic. You are going to have free range system, a chicken. So in terms of how inspection is going to be conducted, we'll come to the premises where you are doing the production of organic, which means that now you have to, from the beginning of that process, when you say, I'm starting planting organic, you will mention or you will provide evidence to say, these are the following items I've used to claim that I'm producing organic. These are the fertilizer which I've used. This is how I irrigate my product until to the final stage where it's presented to the consumer to eat. Sorry, I have to repeat my name. I'm Boraini Thomas Mutango from the Department of Agriculture. My apology for that. So that's what is going to happen in terms of where this auditing system is going to take place. So the designated assignee will make assurance that whatever auditing system they are conducting in that premises in line with the claim which you are indicating. So you cannot talk about that you are having free range chicken, whereas it's not what the auditor is seeing in your premises. Okay. There was issue regarding plot for youth. I did indicate from the beginning that the current act deals with control over the sale of agricultural product for import as well as export. So regarding this question, it sounds like we are running away, but we're not running away. It's the reality that we are not involved in that directorate which are dealing with the plots issuance of plots as well as leasings of farms. I don't know anything. The department, I always say to the people that it's big, it's huge. So we don't know how many directorates we have even ourselves. There was a question asked regarding the training of standards. What we do from the directorate which we are involved in, we develop policies related to the agricultural products. We do also have our sister directorate, Food Import and Export Standards. That is the directorate which is responsible for promoting all what we are doing. They also provide issue regarding to the training in terms of if you are having apple, for example, or carrots, what is it which you have to do? I will ask everyone here to write down these contact details. The person responsible for promotion of agricultural products is Mposikhala. Then his contact details are as follows: 083 962 5807. So he will be much more involved and willing to assist because I'm always monitoring all his movements. He's all over the country, making it a point that people have thorough understanding with regard to this Agricultural Product Standard Act. Then the same question related to assist from government for small farmers. I'll go back again to say that there's relevant directorate which deal with smallholder. They call it Directorate Smallholder, which deals with the issue regarding to smallholder farming. But coming to the issue related to how do you market the product, we do also have the Directorate Marketing. It's a pity I didn't have the contact details for these people, but I've only have the one for Mpo because we deal quite a lot with him, especially when you go out there promoting the work which you are doing. So that will also answer the question regarding training for organic farm. Then the issue regarding seed bank. We do have two acts. My colleague already outlined them: the Plant Improvement Act and the Plant Breeders' Right Act. So those are the acts which address issues related to seed quality. So our mandate is more about the product which you are seeing, whether does it have blemish, does it have decay. Those are the issues related to our line of responsibility. That will also answer question regarding training for organic farming. Currently, we are in the process of amendment of the APS bill. So the time when the Directorate took an initiative to develop those regulations, then it means that the Directorate Food Import Mpo will also be involved in going out there in promoting this regulation related to what we are going to say is management food control. The issue regarding Section 39, I think it's more about the legality, which I'm not involved. I thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the responses. Re leboha ka matla. You'll remember that last week, Mayor Ngubane from the legislature took us through a presentation, a comprehensive presentation where she explained the process of the bill. And I think she also touched on the kind of bill this one is. And like I said, it's a Section 76 bill, which it's an ordinary bill a long hore e affect the provinces. And she also went on to explain that lawmaking process. And remember, I also told you, hore, Rona as the legislature, our mandate is about lawmaking, public participation, and cooperative governance. And it's derived from the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Okay? And then, in terms of the process, I think today we are at the stage where we were soliciting inputs from yourselves, members of the public, stakeholders, and we also had the workshops. And from there, from here on, there's going to be a negotiating mandate from all the provinces, and the final mandate where all the provinces are going to vote for or against the bill. And I think Mengubani covered it very well last week. And then from there on, the NCOP votes will take place in the plenary of the NCOP. NCOP ke ntlo e nyane ya Parliament, the National Council of Provinces. And the province, each province has one vote, and at least 5 provinces must vote in favor of the bill for it to be passed. She explained that as well. I'm just repeating what she said, taking from her presentation here last week. From there, it will be referred to the National Assembly, Parliament Day, where members of parliament sit. And then the bill will then be submitted to the president for the president to assent to the bill. And if the president assents to the bill becomes an act of law. So I think that's a process going forward. And I think, let me take this opportunity also to inform you that the last date for making verbal submissions on the bill is the 15th of September 2023. And we have reached the end of our discussions and our engagements on the bill. And I wish to take this opportunity to thank you all for your inputs and making this a gathering a success. And once again, I appreciate the fact that you do have a great interest in affairs and matters that affect you as farmers, and matters that will shape and build our constitution as well as our laws. And as part of the lawmaking community, we really appreciate your inputs, and they will be processed as per the constitution and the framework that is there in government for soliciting your inputs. So I want to really thank you very much for participating and availing yourself on this Friday morning. And I wish you would have a wonderful weekend. I also want to thank Mahoshi once again for supporting this team. It emphasizes the element of intergovernmental relations as well, because you are also a house on your own. So as we engage yourself, we display that portion of engaging with the other houses. So we really appreciate your inputs and your presence. Honorable members, thank you very much for being part of this gathering. And all the officials present and those who were responsible for organizing this great event, thank you so much. The media at the back, thank you so much for always supporting our cause. and making sure that our stakeholders can understand and hear the contents as they are presented, so that no one is denied an opportunity to hear and understand in their own preferred languages. And okay, it's 12 o'clock now, and I'm told that you are being invited for lunch as well, all of you, but only at 12:30. I would request that we can stay around, hang around for just a few minutes. You can engage amongst yourselves. Any contact numbers, they are here for you. And then we can all have lunch. And before you go, please return the gadgets. I'm reminded once again so that we can reuse it in our next meeting. Please return all the gadgets. And thank you very much. See you at lunch. Ke a leboga. Big hand for yourselves. Yes. We are doing well and we are getting somewhere as this sector. Thank you so much. Oh, bare ke le kopa hore if le tswela ko ntle ka 20 past le boele hape ka mono, because there are other groups of people out here. So ba tlo kopa le boele ka mono so that our lunch environment must be controlled, ne? E khono ba rona fela re ska kopana le batho ba bang. Thank you very much.